All right, guys, before we get into today's video, I want to show you a document that I've downloaded. Okay, it's from the Freedom of Information Act. And I mean, just truly incredible stuff in here. And I would like to read the whole thing to you guys, and maybe I'll do it on my other channel, UFO Nocturnal News, but it would take me an hour to read this whole thing. But let me just give you a glimpse here of what we're looking at. Okay, of course, you know, they're talking about they're responding to the Freedom of Information Act. Excuse me, guys. Okay, let's go down. You know, from the DoD, right? What are they looking at? They call it their reading list. Okay, let me go down. Just bear with me, guys. Very important here. And I'm going to file for documents myself, you know, through the Freedom of Information Act, because, you know, as Americans, you know, you are entitled to that. It is your right. But look, here's what they're looking at, guys. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. Inertial electrostatic fusion, advanced nuclear propulsion. I mean, look at this stuff, guys. Pulsed high power microwave technology. Okay. Advanced space propulsion based on a vacuum. I mean, I was reading other documents earlier about teleportation. And this is, look guys, this is what they've been covering up with this, you know, secret government UFO UTIP program. Okay? Biosensors. Let me zoom in. I want to make sure you get this. Invisibility cloaking. And guys, it's not my device that's blurry, it's the files, just so you know. Wormholes, stargates, I mean, what? Negative energy. High frequency gravitational wave. Anti-gravity for aerospace applications. I mean, these were once classified documents, and basically what you're looking at here, I want to explain. You know, field effects on biological tissues. These are basically things that our government, you know, these secret UFO agencies have been looking into, you know, going back, that we know since probably 2000, 2004, okay? Let me just go down a little bit, and we're going to get into the video. I got a great video for you guys today. I mean, metallic spintronics. I mean, what is that, right? Product is classified, unclassified for official use only. But let me zoom out a little bit, guys, and but just to show you, you know, this is a very long document. Laser light craft. Negative mass propulsion. I mean, so, you know, you look at these documents, guys. Even if you're a non-believer, even if you are a skeptic, you can no longer say, there's nothing to it. It's, you know, little green men, right? These little green men in the sky. You can no longer say that.
Mocked the existence of unidentified flying objects, the U.S. Pentagon has been studying this subject for quite a long time, and apparently will soon release some of its findings, which remain classified. According to a new report in the New York Times, the U.S. government may have physical evidence of, and we're quoting, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
Alright guys, a very powerful, important video today. You know, please, I don't ask it very often, but watch it from beginning to end, because I'm going to put a lot of hard work into my video today, and it is incredibly important to our movement, to disclosure. I mean, look guys, it's happening, it's coming, because now these politicians, government officials, high-ranking military officials, all of them are coming forward now and saying, wait a minute, there is something out there. At a bare minimum, it is a matter of national security, and they're now finally taking it serious. Isn't it, I don't mean to go off, on a tangent here, but isn't it ironic? Isn't it almost humorous, right? How everyone's a little UFO nut, little green men, tinfoil hat, but now they change up the name, a UAP instead of a UFO, and it gains some type of credibility. This USS Nimitz report, Navy report comes out, and now all of a sudden, well, UFOs are probably a real thing, or excuse me, UAPs are probably a real thing. But anyway, guys, let's move on. The Pentagon has off-world vehicles not made of this Earth. Bombshell. The government's once clandestine UFO program will reveal findings on unexplained materials and crashes, okay? And I'm going to show you guys some very important videos, so stay tuned, okay? Eric Davis, now, he was basically, someone who consulted the Pentagon. Okay, I'll read it here, the original UFO program, and now works for the defense contractor Aerospace Corporation, told the Times that after he examined certain materials, he came to the conclusion that we couldn't make them ourselves. I mean, guys, did you hear what I just said? Okay, again, this is somebody, just deep-rooted in all these organizations. His reputation on the line. He's not writing a book. He's not trying to make money. He is telling you right here, we couldn't make them ourselves. In fact, Davis briefed a Department of Defense DoD agencies as recently as March about retrieving materials from off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Wow. Off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. I mean, seriously, guys, they're admitting it now. And, where is the coverage? Where is the, this should be headline news everywhere. They're admitting they've retrieved and they're studying basically, literally, alien alloys, alien material. And we're going to get into the Bigelow Corporation and how I think he's involved and everything. But first, just watch this video and I'll be back.
Former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid thinks it is time for the Pentagon to open up its secret UFO files.
The longtime Nevada lawmaker admits that he did sponsor a secret study that was coordinated by a Las Vegas contractor, but very little of what was produced by the study has been made public.
So what's hiding in those files, and when do we get to see them? George Knapp is here live in studio with a preview of his report.
No, that's the question, right?
It is.
Where is it? Well, for more than a year, the public has heard about the secret study initiated by Senator Harry Reid and other lawmakers. The study continued for years, but whatever files or reports it created, very little of that material has been made public. As the IT first reported, the company which landed the contract for the program was a subsidiary of Bigelow Aerospace based here. The Pentagon and the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, have confirmed the program was real, and we know it studied anomalous aerial encounters such as the now famous Tic Tac incident from 2004. But the Defense Department has said it knows of only 38 unclassified reports that were ever produced, 38 papers total. The I-Team has confirmed beyond any question the study put together a huge UFO database with materials and evidence from all over the world. So what else is in the files? The Pentagon has...
All right, Harry Reid, the former Nevada senator, okay? After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some were substantive, some not so substantive, that there were actual materials that the government and the private sector had in their possession. So what is he telling you? He's telling you, hey, I read reports, and I'm going to show you the interview here in a second. I read the reports, yes, and he said I had 2 staff members read them. It was a pile of papers. I couldn't read all of them, but he, with his own eyes, he read reports, claiming that, again, we have these alien alloys, this alien material, not made of this Earth. Okay, it's not, something that crashed into the Earth. Something natural. This is technology, right? This is something that was built, designed, I don't know, however these aliens, what do we call them? However these ETs are doing it, he's telling you right here, yes, I read in official government reports that we do, we have retrieved them. Look, we know, going back to Roswell, that was not a weather balloon. We know this, okay? We know this. So let's continue. Therefore, the committee directs the DNI in consultation with the Secretary of Defense and the heads of such other agencies as the Director and Secretary jointly considered relevant to submit a report within 180 days of the date of enactment of this act. Basically what they're doing, okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing, what they're doing, you know, like Senator Marco Rubio, they're putting pressure on these guys. They're saying, look, this is a matter of national security. If you know something, we need to know. Like, we're tired of you covering this up. We're tired of you hiding this. You know, it's funded by our tax dollars. I mean, my dollars, your dollars. You know, we need to know what is going on. So they're now applying pressure. So they're telling them, you know, they want to report within 180 days. But don't get too excited because they agreed to release some information. Now, what does that mean? You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you see the Freedom of Information Act and everything is blacked out with a Sharpie. So that's probably what we're going to get, but we'll see. You know, so I'm going to play one more video, guys, and I'll be back.
You know, the Pentagon has files. There are additional files and reports that were compiled as part of the study that you initiated. Did you get very deep into that stuff? Did you read it? Are you aware of how deep it goes or what's in it?
I didn't read all of it. My staff did, and I spent a lot of time with my staff going over what was in there. It was quite a lot of material, so for me to tell you I read every word of it, if somebody saw that stack of paper, they're, well, I'm not sure he's telling the truth. So truthfully, yes, I had 2 staff people that worked this issue a lot, and we spent a lot of time together.
And what jumps out at you? I mean, is there substantial information and documentation in those reports?
In my opinion, this is something that we should be studying. And as I said, it's a worldwide phenomenon, not just here in the United States.
The focus of the study, Reid says, was a ranch in Utah known as the site of unusual activity. Another focus was the appearance of unknown aircraft over nuclear missile bases and other classified military locations and units. Tonight at 11, the senator and others who were involved in the program will give a broader view of what else was studied, and we'll hear opinions about whether this material is ever going to be released to the public. There's a lot of stuff there, a lot of stuff.
And if it ever is, you'll be the first one to show it
you
to
can
us.
count on that.
All right, again, I want to read you another, clip from an article. Either way, Reid said, more should be made public to clarify what is known and what is not known. It is extremely important that information about this discovery of physical materials or retrieved craft come out. I mean, again, guys, they're telling you what is going on. And I'll read this again quickly. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, basically saying, that there were actual materials that the government and the private sector, meaning, the Bigelow Corporation, things like that, had in their possession. Now, let me explain something about companies like the Bigelow Corporation. They are basically protected, from the Freedom of Information Act. Now, what does that mean? Now, I learned this from a very serious UFO researcher. So basically, the government, they'll hire these contractors, these third-party contractors like the Bigelow Corporation, and again, they don't have to reveal information to the public. So they're protected. You can try to hit them with the Freedom of Information Act, but being a private company, they're not required by law or any. They don't have any obligation to show you any information. But here's the thing: they're funded by the government. Okay? I mean, did you guys hear what I just said? So the government is now hiring, outsourcing all of this work to study alien alloys, alien artifacts, crashed UFOs to these private companies because they know they're protected. And people like me, people like you, real UFO researchers, we can't see what they're doing. So the government has found a loophole, to hide what they're doing.
Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp yesterday, and it goes up today. It's probably out right now. And that's a pretty heavy podcast. George Knapp is a journalist who broke the Bob Lazar story in 1989. He's a legit investigative journalist for Las Vegas. He catches the mob and bad guys and scam artists and stuff. He's a legit journalist and has been his whole career, and was real hesitant to take on that story because it seemed so bonkers. In 1989, Bob Lazar saying he's working on back engineering UFOs, and they work on this element that's only theoretical, and this element allows them to bend gravity and fucking shoot from point to point almost instantaneously. Everybody's like, you're crazy. But then as time has gone on and these videos have come out that have shown these crafts and shown them with the Tic Tac craft that was off of San Diego that was blocking their tracking devices, and then went from 60,000 feet to 0 feet above sea level in less than a second. They have no idea what the fuck it is. They have no idea what it's doing. And the guys down there in San Diego who are in the military are saying, we're seeing them all the time. We see them every couple weeks. They don't know what they are.
And I kind of wanted to include this, and I'll show you a little clip of Rogan here in a minute. You know, Pentagon on UFOs, they are off-world vehicles not made of this earth. Okay, Joe Rogan, buckle up, kids. Second half of 2020 coming in hot when the Pentagon says it has the recent recovery of off-world, basically he goes on to say alien material. I mean, do you guys see what's happening here? I mean, who cares about Joe Rogan, right? But I thought I would include that because I do believe, you know, I don't know, he's kind of fed what to say, like a little puppet. Could be, I don't know, I could be wrong, guys, who knows? But, you know, I think it's very ironic he would put something out like this, right? And then now he's going on these different podcasts and talking about it. You know, talking about the USS Nimitz and, you know, the fighter pilots that he's interviewed and things like that. But again, guys, I mean, this is serious. I mean, wow, it just blows my mind to think now, you know, they're putting pressure on the Navy, putting pressure on these, you know, secret programs hey, we need to know what's going on. We need the files. Now, the files, like I said, is 180. They're giving them 180 days, and they want information. I want to say it's every, you know, so many months, 3 or 4 months, they have to basically, you know, kind of drip feed information to the public. So I don't like that, but at least, you know, we're getting somewhere, right? It's better than just, we're going to hide it, shut up, you're a UFO nut, you're crazy. Wouldn't it be nice to be vindicated? You know, wouldn't it be nice to be vindicated? You know, we all believe in this topic, this UFO topic, and if you don't, I don't mean to be harsh, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to be ugly, guys, but look, I don't understand people that can live on this planet and say, oh no, we're the only thing here, there's nothing else out there. You know, we are it. We are the, you know, at the top of the food chain, the supreme being. Like, I don't understand that mindset. Like, I can't even think that way, you know? So I don't know, guys. This is just getting crazy to me that, you know, now, like I said, these government officials are coming forward. Marco Rubio, Reid, you know, even President Trump, you know, he was talking about releasing the Roswell files. And now they've like wiped that from the internet, you know, just a ton of, you know, people in the Navy, very high-ranking military officials coming forward saying, yes, you know, the government is hiding what they know. So guys, leave a comment below. I mean, what do you think about this? This is just truly, truly incredible.
Rock solid soldiers. I mean, these are Air Force pilots. These are like the cream of the crop of American military. They're not bullshit artists. Like, if you meet Commander Fravor, that guy there's nothing about that guy at all that's a bullshit artist. That guy is a rock solid military man. And when he tells you he's flying a fighter pilot and there's something that does things in the sky that he can't explain, and no one knows how they do it. No one understands it. There's no visible method of propulsion. And this thing goes from 60,000 feet down to 1 in a second. And that's just how...
We spoke before about this, and you suggested that the object you saw that you chased, the Tic Tac, behaved in ways that challenged your understanding of aeronautics and physics, and that you didn't think it was likely that object belonged to a foreign military. Do you think the U.S. government has concluded that this is not Russia, China, or some other country?
I'm pretty sure of that you know, just by some of the phone calls that we've gotten, some of the people that we have talked to in the government, that they are unaware of what this is. And I think that ties directly with the East Coast sighting with the gimbal video. And I'd be willing to say, just because I'm in contact with a lot of these people, that there are more incidents that are starting to come out, that people are starting to report inside the government channels of things that they've seen. And I think you're